So to demonstrate, at this eyelid here, at this fold, we're going to shade in the shadow that is created by the eyelid. So you can see we're not actually drawing any lines. We're not drawing this. We are sketching out the varying dark shadow that is created by the eyelid. Same thing for down here. There's a slight shadow that is created here. Okay, so next we're going to work on the iris. It's all really subtle, but there's always shadows that are created. Okay, now next we're going to draw the pupil, and we're going to make that very dark, because all pupils are pretty much black. Next we're going to draw a little, I don't want to call it a bubble here, but it's not. We're going to draw a little bubble here for the reflection of light. Next we're going to fill in the iris here. Okay, and we're going to actually take our H pencil, this one here, and kind of sketch in the lines that we usually get with irises. And there are dozens of these lines of varying sizes, so we're going to illustrate that too. Okay. Next we're going to take our HB pencil, the middle grade here. We're just going to flesh everything out. Make this line more pronounced. This shadow here, excuse me. Bring out this shadow a little bit more. Make this shadow darker still. Bring out the cornea a little bit more. Darken that. And I'm not really putting too much pressure on the paper because I don't want it to be too exaggerated. We want to slowly build on top of our work. Okay, next we can start to fill in the eyelashes. And you know, humans aren't perfect, so our eyelashes aren't perfectly one length all the time. And they're not perfectly, they don't grow perfectly in one direction either. So since I use my middle grade, I'm going to use my 3B to go over it again, because we want this person to have fuller, darker lashes. Make these a little longer here. Okay. And we're gonna make this darker. Okay, now we're going to shade in the rest of the iris. And pronounce the outside of the iris a little more. Give it some more definition. Okay, and then we're also going to darken this shadow down here a little bit more. And you want to make the progression of dark to light very gradual. So it's very dark here. We want to eventually go a little bit lighter, take the pressure off the paper a bit, so that it doesn't create this dark line here like we have here. And just work our way up like that. And then we want to pronounce this line here a little bit more. And of course, the slight bag under the eye creates a little bit of a shadow down here. How about that? And, this person is not a spring chicken. So, we're gonna take our hardest pencil, the 4H, and create some small, very small wrinkles, because she's really good about putting on moisturizer. So, she's not gonna have a ton of wrinkles, but we all have them. I myself, I'm 32, and I barely have any wrinkles, luckily. Cross my fingers, or actually knock on wood. But I do have some fine lines here and there, and they're mostly in probably my forehead and my eyes, which is usually where people develop wrinkles first if they don't have a lot to begin with. So I hope this is making sense to you so far. Feel free to comment in the video down below for any questions, or if you want to suggest a different approach, or even if you want to give me some praise, that would be nice too. But I accept all compliments. Of course I accept all compliments, but I was going to say I accept all comments, because whether it's good or bad, it's always going to help me make my videos better for you. And that sounds like an ad campaign. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to come off that way. So, let's see, we can take our finger to blend that a little bit so the lines are not as rough and harsh. A little bit up here. Okay. So that's our basic eye. And if we want to go even further, I can take my 8B and very lightly go over everything and just touch it up. Touch up the color here. Create a bit more shadows here. And I'm moving my pencil. Before, when we created this shadow, we moved pretty much in a straight line. Not exactly. But here we're going to work a little bit at an angle so that we get some more realistic effect. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of creating several dimensions of shadow, because in life there's always multiple layers to everything. So we're going to do just that with our drawing. Now the cornea we can work on a little bit more, actually, because it's not, if you look at people's corneas and really pay attention, they're not usually just a blob like this, a regular circle with nothing, with no color in between. There's always going to be some shadow, slight as it may be, inside here. Very dark here because the edge of the cornea indents into the eyeball. So shadow is going to be very dark here. It's going to be slightly, release the pressure a little bit off the paper from your pencil. Slight shadow here. And as we get down here, we're going to press a little darker because there's going to be slight, can't talk anymore. There's going to be a slight darker shadow here and in here. And a little bit of a shadow here because we're still working underneath, right underneath our eyelid. And we're actually going to pull that shadow more a little here. Okay. And then the cornea is a kind of a fleshy object. So it's going to have varying fleshy shapes. I don't know what else to call them. We're going to create some shadows in here. Create some shadows here. Okay. And then we're going to create a little bit of a shadow right here. And bring that into the bottom of our eyelid. Okay. And excuse the surface, it's sort of it's very grainy, so lines aren't going to be exactly smooth, but hope you get the idea. I'm just going to make these lashes darker for you. And once you have all your basic information down, by information I mean all the shadows, the sketch lines, you've laid out the foundation of your shapes. Once you have all that down and it's starting to look like what you want it to be in the end, you can go back several times to touch it up and just make it more you. Because as an artist, each time you complete a work, you put a little bit of your soul into it, you know? And that's why sometimes it's very hard for artists, even when people pay them money for it, it's very hard for artists to let go of their work sometimes. I certainly have that problem, but I do enjoy selling the artwork too, because I really appreciate when people want to take my work home and show it off to their friends and just be very happy and enjoy it. That really makes me happy. So we're gonna make some very wispy eyelashes here. Make sure all these lashes aren't too lonely, right? And we're gonna darken this a little bit where the eyelid is. Alright. So, as you can see, this is the eye that we've drawn together. And need to get myself a smoother surface to draw on, but hopefully this will help you to draw a basic eye. I tried my best to make it very simple and make it just very easy to follow breakdown. But if you have any critiques, just let me know, and I'll be happy to try to implement them in my next video. So, till next time, lots of love to you. Bye.